with perfection. Arby's does. Arby's, we have the meat.
We caught him in a lie. Gotcha!
New tonight on CBS.
NCIS?
AFP, Australian Federal Police.
All across the world!
Our two nations stand shoulder to shoulder.
One team, one dream, y'all.
NCIS Sydney, Tuesday, November 14th on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
The activity of the week, puddle jumping. I'll show you when, though, you should stay inside out of those thunderstorms. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, thousands more UAW workers walk off the job today at Stellantis' biggest assembly plant. Tonight, why the union says that facility was specifically targeted for an expanded strike. Plus, 2 gun reform bills are expected to be up for a vote in the State House soon. Hear from domestic violence advocates about how they hope it will help survivors and why some gun owners feel the legislation goes too far. And careers in hospice care, how UP Health System is hoping to encourage more people to apply. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
It's pretty quiet so far tonight, Ariane, and of course there's a little chill in the air.
It is fall, yes. We've got chill. You and I had soup and chili for dinner. It was the perfect night for that, and we're going to see that more this week as we've got rain showers moving in, chances of thunderstorms. We could even see some hail and gusty winds during some of these thunderstorms. I'll show you after the break. We are expecting warmer temps. That starts Tuesday. For now, though, we'll be in that 45 to 55 degree range. Today we saw a high of about 52 out at the National Weather Service. Not quite getting into the 70s, but I'll still take the 50s. Right now, we're about 45 to 50 degrees. Your full forecast after the break.
The UAW is kicking off a new week of its historic stand-up strike by targeting one of Stellantis' biggest moneymakers. More than 6,000 workers at the Sterling Heights assembly plant were called to hit the picket line this morning. Andres Gutierrez was outside the plant today and has more on why the union chose that plant.
We just felt like it was time to turn it up.
Word of the strike expansion spread like wildfire this morning inside Stellantis' Sterling Heights assembly plant.
There was an excitement in the air, and we're excited for it. We're ready. We think we agree with what Sean has done and how he has struck certain plants at certain times. But now he's coming with the big moneymaker.
It's here where 6,800 UAW members make the Ram 1500 pickup truck, one of Stellantis' best-selling vehicles.
So this is going to hit them in their pocketbooks. And all we're looking for is a fair share of the pie.
Members were greeted by UAW President Sean Fain at the main gate. Remember, he's the one who ushered in this new phase of the stand-up strike almost 2 weeks ago when he called on members at Ford's Kentucky plant to go on strike.
This is all about job security and having a future. Our members have to have a future. We want the EV transition to be a just transition. So, you know, we're going to see where we end up. But we're making progress. But unfortunately, we're not where we need to be. And our members deserve better. And these companies owe our members better.
The union says the automaker has the worst proposal on the table when it comes to wage progression and cost of living adjustments, among other demands.
I trust his wisdom. I know that what he's doing here is for the benefit of all of us, especially us in SBU, our salaried bargaining unit, which has been decimated by outsourcing. So if we don't start now, when does it end?
Stellantis said it was outrage over the move because the company improved its offer on Thursday, including a 23% wage increase, but hadn't received a counteroffer from the UAW. In a statement, Stellantis wrote in part, "Our very strong offer would address member demands and provide immediate financial gains for our employees." Instead, the UAW decided to cause further harm to the entire automotive industry, as well as our local, state, and national economies. New data released today from the Anderson Economic Group shows the auto industry has lost $9.3 billion in the first 5 weeks of the strike. The big three alone are out more than $4 billion.
We got to do what we got to do. We can't keep on working and making no money.
Those close to the talks say this decision doesn't mean that they're at an impasse, but they believe this will move the talks along. Meanwhile, in Lansing, new gun reform legislation is expected to see a vote this week. The two bills, first introduced in the Michigan Senate in September, would prohibit anyone convicted of misdemeanors involving domestic violence from possessing firearms and ammunition. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy spoke with advocates and opponents of the bills to learn more about how they could affect gun owners if passed.
New studies from the Brady United organization are showing that domestic violence homicides are up 22% since 2018. With October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, advocates for Michigan's Coalition to End Domestic and Sexual Violence are pushing for more legislation that would protect victims of intimate partner violence.
These bills are an important sign from the state, especially during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, that they care about survivors and making sure that they are protected in every way possible.
The bills would make it a felony for individuals who have been convicted of misdemeanors involving domestic violence to possess firearms or ammunition within 8 years of completing any probationary conditions.
While this law will not end all violent and deadly aspects of domestic violence, it has shown a measurable difference in other states with similar laws, between 10 and 14% reductions in homicides for domestic violence. And if it saves one life, it's worth it.
While some see these bills as a way to protect victims of domestic violence, some are raising concerns that some of the restrictions go too far.
I just see where it can get out of hand.
Avery Smith, owner of 906 Concealed Carry, says he believes gun owners with a proven history of violence should have their gun rights forfeited. But he says he worries the legislation goes even further than federal statutes into what he considers overstepping.
If the law would mimic what's already on the federal books, we wouldn't have a problem with it. But they kind of go above and beyond that, and that's where I think the problem is.
The bills are expected to see a vote in the House soon, but advocates say they hope to see the legislation signed by the governor before the end of the month. For Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
Those bills were passed 22-16 in the Senate, with 2 Republicans voting in support of the legislation. Currently, the bills are just waiting to be voted on in the House before they would make it to the governor's desk. The Michigan State University Board of Trustees is dealing with another bout of turmoil. This time, the board is calling for its chair to resign over allegedly violating the board's rules of conduct and ethics. Elle Myers has more on a letter that was sent to the board.
In a letter sent to the Michigan State University Board of Trustees, Trustee Brianna Scott called for the removal of Chair Rima Vassar, citing a multitude of issues, ranging from bullying on the board to interference in legal disputes. Trustee Brianna Scott sent the letter to the full Board of Trustees on Sunday and shared the letter with the student-run newspaper, The State News.
Under ideal circumstances, the board would come together, unify around a new president, and set a new tone of leadership for the institution.
The State News reported Scott's letter alleges continued and escalating interference by Vassar, even pushing consultants in charge of reviewing the university's response to the February 13th mass shooting on campus to change their wording in their report.
The PR advice generally for leaders is to never be a distraction and never put yourself above the institution.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer weighed in on the situation Monday, saying in a statement, in part, quote, "The allegations in yesterday's report are deeply concerning. If accurate, it would be a huge breach of the public's trust." Whitmer goes on to call on the institution to get answers, saying, quote, "The university owes it to its students, alumni, and our entire state to get to the bottom of this and take appropriate action."
It's been one thing after another in MSU, and this is really the last thing that the institution needs, particularly in the midst of a presidential search.
Now, Trustee Dennis Deno tells me via statement he's disappointed to see grandstanding over what he calls a personal grievance. I reached out to every member of the Board of Trustees and Interim President Teresa Woodruff for comment on these issues, but didn't get a response back.
Around the UP, Dickinson County's new 4-story extended stay hotel is now open. Iron Mountain's Town Place Suites by Marriott at the corner of Stevenson Avenue and Ludington Street is already taking calls left and right since its phones went live. Staff are fully trained, final touches have been added to the breakfast area, and the 95-room hotel is now offering guided tours of the building. The operations manager says she's excited about this for the community.
Home when you're staying with us, you know, big closets, nice big showers and tubs. They can make their own food if they want, if they don't want to go out to eat. I'm just excited that we are here to offer this community and the people visiting our community this beautiful place.
To celebrate, a ribbon cutting ceremony with the Dickinson Chamber of Commerce is set for early November. Today, UP Health System hosted its first of 3 career fairs to find new hospice employees in Delta and Menominee counties. WZMQ's Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons tells us about the need for hospice workers and the important service they provide.
Healthcare workers are in high demand across the country, and according to UP Health System Hospice Executive Administrator Andrew Porter, that is especially true in the field of hospice.
Hospice is a little bit more difficult to recruit for. It's not necessarily talked about as much. Some people almost find it a dirty word.
Porter says that is largely due to misconceptions about what hospice care involves.
Anyone that's eligible for Medicare is eligible for hospice as long as they have a 6-month prognosis. It's an important level of care for people as they're passing because it switches from a curative treatment path to a palliative or comfort treatment path to make sure that as someone's death approaches, it's as comfortable an experience as it can be for both the patient and their families.
He says it's critical to find the right person to provide that type of care.
When hiring for hospice, we really are looking more for character fit. We can teach the skills that come with it, but we can't teach that end-of-life compassion, just someone that wants to be there for that population of patients.
Tending to a patient as well as their family in their final days is an important job. One Porter says is also extremely rewarding.
When it comes to most healthcare, it's something that people are going to go through several times. You may have multiple surgeries in your life. You may be admitted to the hospital multiple times, but with hospice, you only really get one chance. So it's so important that everyone has the same mission when they go into these homes or facilities.
UP Health System Hospice is hosting 2 more career fairs this week in Menominee and Stevenson. You can visit WZMQ19.com for times and locations. Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
Your first morning weather forecast is coming up after this break. Plus, 2 more U.S. hostages are released by Hamas militants, the latest on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And later, why Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist was serving up lunch in Negaunee today. We're back in 2 minutes.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Sleep better with a new mattress from Kirkish Furniture. We proudly feature made in the Midwest Restonic mattresses. Try one out today and compare other major brands. Let our sleep specialists help you find the bed of your dreams at Kirkish Furniture.
Since the 15th century, Antwerp, Belgium has been the city for diamonds. Erickson Jewelers is going overseas to this diamond capital soon to handpick directly from a sparkling selection unlike any in the world. Tell us what you're looking for and we'll use our connections to personally find it in Antwerp's famous diamond district. This is a special opportunity that allows us to negotiate the best options and value for you. Find out how Erickson Jewelers can bring home your one-of-a-kind Antwerp diamond.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Why are we whispering? New tonight on CBS.
Well, it was about 1 year ago that we launched our live and local 19 newscasts. How are you feeling about this first year?
Amazing. It's been wild, right? We started in like a construction zone, but we've been building this very unique and fun environment. Sarah, when you're out and about, what is the reaction you get from people?
Honestly, a lot of people seem really excited that we're on the air. A lot of people seem like they're excited that there's another option for news here, and just, you know, a different flavor of news coverage.
We also won Best Newscast, Sarah. Can you believe that?
I honestly cannot believe that. That was such a shock and such an honor, too. I mean, we were only on air for 3 months of 2022, and to win Best Newscast within 3 months, really within just a few weeks of being on air, is pretty incredible. And I'm so proud of our team, and it's just been really cool to see.
Now, WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasek.
Currently, we have winds coming out of the south-southeast. We'll see these change direction most likely tomorrow, coming out of the north midday or in the early evening hours. Right now, those temperatures, we're dropping down into the 40s, although it is a little bit warmer down there in Menominee, of course, with a current temp of 54 degrees. The lows That's where we're expecting to be. All right, let's take a look at the next 3 days. This evening, we've got clouds pushing in. We could see some sprinkles overnight, but other than that, we'll expect some fog this evening and then throughout our Tuesday, as well as those showers, possible thunderstorms. I'll show you when those drop coming up in just a bit. Those temperatures 50, maybe close to 70, but we're thinking more like 65 degrees. And then the lows still fairly warm, 45 to about 60. Wednesday, we'll expect rainy conditions with, again, chances of thunderstorms. Right now, though, we've been seeing mostly clear conditions as far as precipitation the past couple of hours, maybe some sprinkles here in Elgin County, and then, of course, along Lake Michigan, especially over by the bridge. Current conditions, though, as you can see on the radar, we're looking fairly dry. Let's take a look, though, what Futurecast is showing us. Like I mentioned, those clouds moving in. We're expecting mostly cloudy skies this evening, maybe some scattered showers throughout our morning into the afternoon. We'll have a little bit of a clear time there in the central portions around 11 a.m. 2 o'clock, we'll see showers rolling in from the Wisconsin border, and then take a look at these heavier conditions around 5, 6 o'clock Eastern time as it makes its way eastward. We could, like I said, those thunderstorm chances are moving in as well. Most of that activity, though, is going to be along Lake Michigan for that heavier conditions as things clear out eventually around 9, 10, and 11 o'clock in the evening. Then we'll expect mostly cloudy skies for our Wednesday. I almost said Saturday. Nope, not yet. Maybe some showers along Lake Michigan as well, but other than that, mostly cloudy skies. Now, take a look here at what we're expecting by about 5 o'clock. Down south could get a little slick on those roads during your commute, so make sure you're prepared for that. And then, of course, low beams for any possible patchy fog that could be continuing there on our Tuesday. The highs tomorrow in that 55 to 65-degree range. It's going to be warmer down in Menominee and Iron Mountain. Everyone else, though, a little bit cooler, but should be fairly nice as far as temperature is concerned. 7-day outlook here in Marquette. We'll expect likely showers tomorrow, and then Wednesday, same thing, likely showers. And you know what? We'll take it on Thursday as well. Looking ahead, though, to Saturday for that trick-or-treating here in downtown Marquette. I know Sarah and I will both be out there dressed up. We've got cloudy conditions expected, and then take a look at those temperatures. We're dropping back down into the 40s, so it's going to be a little bit brisk, but we've got candy. We'll be fine.
Thank you very much, Ariane. Hamas has released 2 more hostages from Gaza. The 2 Israeli women found freedom 3 days after an American mother and her teenage daughter were let go. Tina Kraus is in Tel Aviv with the latest on the war.
It's okay, let's go.
Video distributed by Hamas appears to show 85-year-old Yocheved Lifshitz shake hands with one of her captors as they set her free. Lifshitz and 79-year-old Nurit Cooper crossed into Egypt with the help of the International Red Cross. Hamas kidnapped the women from their homes on Kibbutz Nir Oz, the site of one of the massacres in southern Israel. Their husbands are still held captive in Gaza. The Israeli military released this video showing Hamas militants firing at cars the day of the attack and checking their casualty count after. President Biden was asked if the U.S. supported the exchange of hostages for a potential ceasefire. Hamas says the death toll in Gaza has climbed above 5,000. Israel has stepped up deadly airstrikes ahead of its expected ground invasion. Displaced Palestinians took shelter Monday after a third convoy of aid trucks entered a border crossing from Egypt. But experts say it's still not enough to stem the growing humanitarian crisis. The U.S. has advised Israel to delay a ground invasion to buy time for negotiations aimed at freeing more hostages. In central Israel, grief mixed with hope as people gathered to celebrate the birthday of 9-year-old Ohad, believed to be held hostage in Gaza.
I hope he's celebrating some way. I hope his mother is hugging him. God bless them. And we must free them now, today, so we can reach 10 at least.
Ohad, his mother, and 2 grandparents are among more than 200 people taken by Hamas on October 7th.
The U.S. has moved warships into the region and has warned Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran, and other groups to stay out of the fight. Meanwhile, nearly 3 weeks into the process, House Republicans need to find a new candidate to be the Speaker of the House. Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan dropped out on Friday after he realized he couldn't get enough votes to win the speakership. Natalie Brandt has the details from Capitol Hill.
On day 20 without a Speaker of the U.S. House, Republicans are starting the process all over again.
This is probably one of the most embarrassing things I've seen, because if we don't have a Speaker of the House, we can't govern. And every day goes by, we're essentially shut down as a government.
Late Monday, Republicans heard from the 9 candidates who have filed to run for the position during a closed-door candidate forum.
My pitch is very simple. This is going to be a process where it's member-driven, not speaker-driven. We need to get back to work, secure our border, fund our government responsibly.
Minnesota Congressman Tom Emmer, who is already in a House leadership position as Majority Whip, has won the support of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
He sets himself head and shoulders above all those others who want to run. We need to get him elected this week and move on.
Congressman Emmer and one other candidate, Georgia's Austin Scott, are the only 2 on the list of Speaker hopefuls who voted to certify the 2020 election. But Emmer's vote could put him at odds with ardent supporters of former President Donald Trump.
Well, I think he's my biggest fan now because he called me yesterday and he told me I'm your biggest fan. So I don't know about that.
Internal GOP divisions have made it impossible so far for any one lawmaker to gain the 217 votes needed for a majority on the House floor. Yet Republicans are hoping to unite behind a Speaker nominee as early as tomorrow.
House Republicans are scheduled to hold secret ballots Tuesday morning to determine who will be their Speaker nominee. With 9 candidates in the race, that balloting process could take a while to play out. Still ahead tonight, advancements in brain research. How a grant is helping Northern Michigan University's neuroscience researchers learn new things about how the brain works. That's next.
Save big money and get 11% off everything now at Menards. Always know who's at your door with a smart video doorbell from Fight Electric. See live video on your phone or smart device from anywhere. Right now, only $49.97 after rebate. Mastercraft makes great doors inside and out, building the highest quality doors in a wide selection of styles. Don't wait and get this energy-efficient exterior door for $284.99 after 11% rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
When it gets colder, it's a good idea to layer up. But you can also surround yourself with an added layer of protection by getting your flu and COVID-19 vaccines. And you can safely get both vaccines at the same time. Talk to your healthcare provider and layer up for some added peace of mind.
All-wheel drive season is coming. Changes, weather, road conditions. What doesn't change? Toyota's commitment to giving you the freedom to explore. With more all-wheel drive choices and the longest-lasting vehicles, like the best-selling Camry. Bold, modern, thrilling, efficient. Now get a new all-wheel drive Camry with 3.99 APR financing, plus 2 years no-cost maintenance. Change is coming. Stay ahead with Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
When 2 celebrity-led teams
What is this?
face off.
We're going to say it's a horribly drawn turkey.
No, it's a horribly drawn swan. I don't know what a swan looks like.
In a game of quick draw.
Jump rope.
Jump rope is correct. 1, 2, 3, it's fast-paced family fun for all. Pictionary. Every weekday.
Pictionary. Weekdays at 9 on WZMQ CBS. You're watching the award-winning WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Sarah Blakely.
Michigan's Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist made a stop at a UP school today to serve up some lunch. Gilchrist served lunch to first and second graders at Lakeview Elementary School in Negaunee today. He's been on a mini tour of the UP throughout the weekend, and this was his last stop of the trip. The visit was to help promote the free breakfast and lunch program that was included in the state budget to provide meals to over 1.4 million students.
The budget process will kick off very soon, preparing for next year, and we are looking forward to having this be, again, a standard that we set so that no child in Michigan will be hungry at school.
Gilchrist says the budget for the program had bipartisan support earlier this year, and he believes it will be necessary for the budget in 2024. Northern Michigan University is making strides in its neuroscience research thanks to a grant. Through the Instrumentation Award, the university's research lab will be getting 2 high-density electroencephalograms, or EEG systems. There are about 25 labs worldwide with this integrated system, but within primarily undergraduate institutions, researchers at NMU say Northern is most likely the first. With the additional system, researchers will be able to study people interacting, capturing more social aspects of human behavior.
The time we have like maladaptive problems, like anxiety and depression or just fear responses and stuff like that. And, these can really help us learn what that's like in terms of other people and how our brains react in those kinds of situations with other people, for sure.
Researchers say the equipment should arrive early next semester. There is no test to screen for ovarian cancer, but a new survey finds many women mistakenly believe pap smears can detect it. Bradley Blackburn has more on how that may put them at risk.
Katia Lezen has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer twice. The first time when she was 46.
My kids at the time were 11, 15, and 17, and I was facing the very real possibility that I may not be able to see them into adulthood.
Ovarian cancer has a 50% survival rate over 5 years. If it's caught at stage 1, those odds improve to more than 90%. But a new nationwide survey found 7 in 10 women wrongly believe pap smears test for ovarian cancer.
Pap smear screens for cervical cancer only.
Dr. Aoife Stitt says because guidelines now recommend pap smears every 3 to 5 years, too many women skip annual checkups that could catch potential early symptoms of ovarian cancer, like pelvic pain, bloating, or low appetite.
By not being seen annually, we lose the opportunity to screen for some of these subtle presentations.
For those with family history, genetic testing can identify risk. Lezen carries the BRCA1 gene mutation that increases the chance of multiple cancers, including breast cancer. It's knowledge that can help with treatment and prevention.
I elected to have a prophylactic double mastectomy that was fully paid for by my insurance company because of my mutation.
More than 10 years after her first diagnosis, she is living proof you can survive ovarian cancer.
Let's arm ourselves with the right information and be proactive about our health before you get that call that says, I don't know how to tell you this.
She says all women should see their doctor every year.
According to the National Cancer Institute, nearly 20,000 women will be diagnosed with ovarian cancer this year. After a cool and quiet night, we could see some scattered showers push back in. Ariane has the outlook on the way. And the Fresh Coast Film Festival wraps up another successful year. A look back in our final story after this.
Show with Stephen Colbert. Why are we whispering? New tonight on CBS.
There's nothing like the feeling you get being outdoors. The UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo has everything you need to be ready. The expo returns to the UP State Fairgrounds Ruth Butler Building. Inside, discover great sponsors with everything from bait to rods and reels. Mark it down now on your calendar, November 3rd through the 5th at the UP State Fairgrounds. The UP Ice Fishing and Hunting Expo, brought to you by the Daily Press and WZMQ 19 News.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now there are more carriers and plans to choose from. If you're between 18 and 64 years old with a household income of $25,000 or less, this message is for you. Right now, the government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little to no cost to you. Don't gamble your health. Call Health Care for All. 70% of callers qualify for a zero-cost health care coverage. See if you are one of them. Call now. Our agents are standing by to help you get the health insurance plan you and your family needs and deserves. If you're uninsured or struggling to afford your current health insurance, help is just a phone call away. This is not Medicaid or Medicare. This is the marketplace with the largest selection of healthcare plans from the Affordable Care Act. To find a plan that's right for you, call 800-626-9042. That's 800-626-9042.
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12.
1 Adam 12?
1 Adam 12, 1 Adam 12.
1 Adam 12, roger.
That's right. There's only one Adam 12.
I'll remember that.
5 days a week.
Adam 12, weekdays at 5 on MeTV 19.1.
Our current temperature is mostly in that 40-degree range, although we still have some 50s lingering down south there. Temps tomorrow should be similar to what we saw today. Just a little bit warmer, though. Around 7 a.m., though, expect temperatures around 45 degrees before they raise on up later on in the day. And, of course, chances of patchy fog in the morning, afternoon, and even the evening with those showers moving through. Most of that activity, though, starting later on in the day, early evening hours. And we'll take a look here. Across the UP, those temperatures, the highs expected close to 60 or around 60 degrees. And then Wednesday, we'll expect those showers and possible thunderstorms continuing, as well as the warmer temperatures. Our 7-day outlook for Escanaba, likely showers coming through even till Thursday and Friday. Hopefully things drying up on Saturday as we see those temps dip down to mid-40s.
Thank you very much, Ariane. Finally tonight, the Fresh Coast Film Festival wrapped up another successful year this past weekend. Fresh Coast organizers say the event had great turnout. The 4-day event was filled with activities that ranged from outdoor fun to actually watching some films. With multiple venues, the festival was able to show many different films, over 80 this year, with most of them lasting about an hour. Fresh Coast Film Festival organizers say they are already planning for next year, and they're excited to see what films are to come. You volunteered at this past weekend. How did you like it?
Sure did. I loved it. I love it every year. I did it last year too. Amazing, incredible, inspiring films. Really cool to meet the filmmakers and sometimes the subjects as well.
Interesting. How many different films did you get to watch this year?
Yes. I don't quite lost count. I lost count. I got to see a lot of skateboarding, surfers, and what they're doing for their communities, which was really cool.
Love that. That's all the time we have for tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Shop our huge selection of Amish crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order with 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
Escanaba and Delta County, home to beautiful beaches, Lake Michigan, lighthouses, pretty parks, and great people. It's why so many are proud to say